Hello, welcome back to this channel, and today we're going to talk about how the rosary came to be. The rosary as we know it today came as a gift to the church through Saint Dominic, given to him by the Blessed Virgin Mary herself. According to the story, Saint Dominic was deeply anguished because the weight of the sins of the people have hindered the conversions of the heretic of his time, the Albigensians. Not knowing what else to do, he decided to withdraw to a forest to make reparation, asking God's mercy and pardon. During this time, because of the severe laceration his body was experiencing, he went into a coma, and there, the Blessed Virgin Mary, pitying him, appeared to him. She asked him what weapon the Holy Trinity wants to use to reform the world, to which Saint Dominic replied, "O my lady, you know far better than I do, because next to your Son, Jesus Christ, you have always been the chief instrument of our salvation." Then Our Lady replied, "I want you to know that in this kind of warfare, the battering ram has always been the angelic psalter, which is the foundation stone of the New Testament. Therefore, if you want to reach these hardened souls and win them over to God, preach my psalter." After that, true enough, Saint Dominic tirelessly worked to propagate the Holy Rosary. Slowly, the people are beginning to return to God, and the heretics have strangely been affected by this. Some have demons exorcised away from them through the power of the Holy Rosary. Okay, for you to know a little about the Albigensians and why it is alarming to Saint Dominic that this heresy is spreading all over his country. The Albigensians are people who think that matters are of sin, that anything that belongs to the physical world are sinful. For them, our bodies are bad, the marriages and union are bad, and therefore, it is honorable for them to commit suicide. It was hard for the priests to counter this movement because the Albigensians are very rigid, embraces hardships in life, and they are living in simplicity, while the prelates and the clergies are living in comfort and a very lavish lifestyle. That is why the people would rather be converted by the Albigensians rather than listen to anything that the Catholic priests are saying. The Albigensians do not respect the priests and the Pope because for them, they are unworthy. They are sinners and they succumb to the physical world's comforts, and they also do not respect civil authorities. That is why the heresy is causing a lot of troubles. When Saint Dominic was preaching the rosary near Carcassonne, an Albigensian who was possessed by the devil was brought to him. Saint Dominic exorcised him in the presence of a great crowd of 12,000 people who were there to hear him preach. Saint Dominic questions the demons inside the possessed man, and they were forced to answer him in spite of themselves. They told him that because this man attacked the 15 mysteries of the Rosary, 15,000 of them were able to enter the body of the man. They went on saying that by preaching the Rosary, Dominic put fear and horror in the very depths of hell, because of the souls which he snatched from them through the devotion to the Holy Rosary. Saint Dominic put his rosary around the Albigensian's neck and asked the devils who was the one they feared the most among all saints in heaven. The devil will not tell him, and began wailing and screaming that Saint Dominic knelt down to ask the Blessed Virgin to help him. No sooner had he made his prayer than a glowing flame leaped out of the ears, nostrils, and mouth of the Albigensian. Everyone shook with fear, but the fire did not hurt anyone. Then the devils cried, Dominic, we beseech you, by the passion of Jesus Christ and by the merits of his Holy Mother and of all the saints, let us leave the body of this man without speaking further, for the angels will answer your question whenever you wish. After all, are we not liars? So why should you want to believe us? Please don't torture us anymore. Have pity on us. Saint Dominic prayed to the Blessed Virgin, and he hardly finished when along with multitude of angels, the Blessed Virgin Mary came and struck the possessed man with a golden rod, commanding the demons to answer Saint Dominic. She said, Answer my servant Dominic at once. Remember, the people neither saw nor heard Our Lady, but only Saint Dominic. Then the devil started screaming, O you who are our enemy, our downfall, and our destruction, why have you come from heaven just to torture us so grievously? O advocate of sinners, you who snatch them from the very jaws of hell, you who are the very sure path to heaven, must we, in spite of ourselves, tell the whole truth and confess before everyone who is the cause of our shame and our ruin? Then, Christians, listen well. The Mother of Jesus Christ is all-powerful, and she can save her servants from falling into hell. She is the sun which destroys the darkness of our wiles and subtlety. It is she who uncovers our hidden plots, breaks our snares, and makes our temptation useless and ineffectual. Not a single soul who has really persevered in her service has ever been damned with us. One single sigh that she offers to the Blessed Trinity is worth far more than all the prayers, desires, and aspirations of all the saints. We fear her more than all the other saints in heaven together, and we have no success with her faithful servants. Many Christians who call upon her when they are at the hour of death and who really ought to be damned according to our ordinary standards are saved by her intercession. Oh, if only that Mary had not pitted her strength against ours, and had not upset our plans, we should have conquered the Church and should have destroyed it long before this. And we would have seen to it that all the orders in the Church fell into error and disorder. Now that we are forced to speak, we must also tell you this. Nobody who perseveres in saying the Rosary will be damned, because she obtains for her servants the grace of true contrition for their sins, and by means of this they obtain God's forgiveness and mercy. Then Saint Dominic had them all say the Rosary very slowly and with great devotion, and a wonderful thing happened. At each Hail Mary that he and the people said together, a large group of devils issued forth from the wretched man's body under the guise of red-hot coals. When the devils had all been expelled and the heretic was at last entirely free of them, Our Lady, who was still invisible, gave her blessings to the assembled company, and they were filled with joy because of this. A large number of heretics were converted because of this miracle, and joined the confraternity of the Most Holy Rosary. The Rosary, unfortunately, was prayed with fervor for only a century, and once again, because of lack of self-discipline and lack of effort, the Rosary slowly died away among the confraternities, and slowly, naturally, the people returned to sin. This time, in 1349, God punished the whole of Europe and sent them plagues that was never known before. Monasteries, towns, and villages were almost deserted because of the 3 years of epidemic. Furthermore, a new form of heresy called the Flagellants had been established. In 1376, Our Lady appeared again to another Dominican priest, Blessed Alan de la Roche. Blessed Alan de la Roche was an eminent theologian and is most famous for his sermons. Revival of the devotion to the Holy Rosary. Mary chose Blessed Alan de la Roche to re-establish devotion to her rosary. The people needed the peace and reassurance that this prayer brings more than ever. Alan belonged to the order Saint Dominic founded. He was a Dominican preacher from Brittany. In 1460, Alan was visited by Jesus. Jesus gave him a warning. "How can you crucify me again so soon?" Jesus questioned Alan. "You crucified me once before by your sins, and I would willingly be crucified again rather than have my Father offended by the sins you used to commit. You are crucifying me again, now because you have all the learning and understanding that you need to preach my mother's rosary, and you are not doing so. If you only did this, you could teach many souls the right path and lead them away from sin. But you are not doing it, and so you yourself are guilty of the sins that they commit." Mary also appeared to Alan. She also had a message for him. "You were a great sinner in your youth, but I obtained the grace of your conversion from my Son." Had such a thing been possible, I would have liked to have gone through all kinds of sufferings to save you, because converted sinners are a glory to me, and I would have done this also to make you worthy of preaching my rosary far and wide. Alan was visited not only by Jesus and Mary, but also Saint Dominic, the father of his order and the original preacher of the rosary. Saint Dominic mentored Alan. One of the things he told Alan was, "See the wonderful results I have had through preaching the Holy Rosary. You and all those who love Our Lady ought to do the same so that, by means of this holy practice of the Rosary, you may draw all people to the real science of the virtues." This is the origin of how the Rosary was given to Saint Dominic by Our Lady herself, and how it was revived a century later through Blessed Alan de la Roche. The Rosary is the best way to honor the Mother of Jesus. It brings peace to people's lives by bringing them closer to Jesus. This prayer is so pleasing to Jesus that He will not allow people to forget its saving powers. You can read the amazing stories of the conversions of the Albigensians through the book of Saint Louis de Montfort, The Secret of the Rosary. Thank you so much for watching. Please tune in again for the next video. Hit on the like button and click on subscribe, and please don't forget to share.